Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I am your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, training facilitator and coach with Grant Cardone. I am bringing you, nobody else, just you, weekly sales solutions, sales tips, sales strategies, and a couple attitude adjustments just thrown in there for good measure, directly from the 10X world of Grant Cardone. So check this out. 80% of what we do over here at Cardone Training Technologies is 100% free. So the purpose of the podcast, literally, is to make sure the free stuff we're putting down, you're picking up, and then you're plugging it into your sales, your business, and your life, and you're doing what with it? Well, you're getting some results from it. So thank you in advance for hitting that subscribe button. And if you're getting value from it, if you're getting results, please make sure that you're sharing this out into the cyberspace so that other folks can benefit from it too. So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about one proven way that you can increase sales and most certainly some gross profit. But before we do that, let's have a quick word from our sponsor, shall we? Today's episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast is brought to you by Grant Cardone's Cardone University Coaching Program. All right. So here's what we know at this point. 84% of managers too busy to train and develop their salespeople the way they wish they could. Most managers got into management because they could produce, never because they were ever taught to transfer skill and motivate salespeople. However, last but not least, and frighteningly enough, there is an 88% improvement in production and productivity when coaching and training gets involved. So this is where we come in. Enter the Cardone University Coaching Program, where we become a virtual extension of your management team. Here's what you get. Complete access to Cardone University, 30 plus managed learning courses facilitated by yours truly. Our process increases engagement and accountability, and you get to have us at a fraction of the cost as to hiring somebody to come in-house and do this. We're going to work with you and your management team to increase sales volume, profitability, while reducing extraneous costs and expanding market share. So for a complimentary sales process analysis and training analysis and customized training proposal, all of that, visit cardonesolutions.com/coaching. That's cardonesolutions.com/coaching, cardonesolutions.com/coaching. Now, on with the show. So today's episode is literally one proven way to increase sales and most certainly gross profit, and it is a spin-off of a recent episode we did on Grant's sales process. Today's episode comes from the Cardone University blog, and we are going to be talking about presenting options. Presenting options to your prospects and within your proposals. Options can be a great way to capture deals that you're probably missing right now. So I want you to keep in mind, when a buyer says no, oftentimes they're just saying no to what you presented, not no to the whole thing. And in our experience, this arises more often than not when only one option was presented by the salesperson. Grant says this: choices support decision making. When you give a buyer options, you're literally giving them the ability to compare and in most cases lock in on, firm up on exactly what it is that they really want and what they need. And then select the package that best works for them, that is the most appropriate solution to the problem they are currently facing. Because the number one reason somebody buys something is to what? That's right, to solve a problem. So when in our company, we give buyers at least 3, if not more, options. The first is going to be based on what they requested. Second is going to be typically a higher price package. And then the third one is going to be a lower price option. And then sometimes we'll throw in there something completely different, random, same, only different, that might address a different need that they hadn't even thought of. So by providing these options, it does a few things. Number one, it establishes a bottom. Wait, what? Yeah, it is there's a bottom established within the negotiation. By presenting the lowest priced option, you literally, this is as low as we're going to go here. And what we mean by that is by you suggesting the lowest price option, you prevent the customer from making a ridiculous offer that you can't even do. Has that ever happened to you? You ever had somebody like tell you, hey, I'll give you this much money, and it's like way lower than you can even get close to? Second thing this does is by doing that, not only do you establish the bottom, but it allows you to use inventory as a method for negotiating, not price. One of the best ways to preserve gross profit, I mentioned that in the beginning, is to move your customers to different inventories and packages, inventory items that is, and packages when they're looking for a discount. And remember, the first thing we want to do is move the buyer up in a price or a package first. So we've got what they came in on. We're going to maybe offer something a little bit more expensive. And if then that is unsuccessful, then we move them down to a lower priced option. But we don't want to start even thinking about discounting until we've moved them through at least two choices, something more expensive, something cheaper. This will increase revenue in the deal. We had a customer once that we presented Cardone University to. And it was the only product that they'd asked to see or expressed any interest in. And so during the meeting, after we proposed what they had requested, we showed them an additional option where we would also include live in-person trainers coaching within the business. So there's the university plus the coaching. Customer loved that idea. And they ended up adding, when they did that, it added a significantly larger amount of gross profit into the deal. So never assume that somebody's landed on one thing or has dialed in on a product. Let's offer them something a little bit more money. Give them an opportunity to say yes to something more. Give them the opportunity to spend more money and get more help. So Cardone University works great for some companies. They can manage that on their own. Other companies need our help and need coaching to go with it. Right? So there's that. Some companies don't even need Cardone U, but they'll certainly take a keynote with Grant, speaking event, or a book package. Everybody's different. So we want to offer all kinds of choices because why? What I say earlier, choices support decision making. So these options, it opens you up for quite a bit of flexibility in your deal when it comes down to the negotiations. You're using options to literally inject more revenue, right? It also presents unnecessary discounts. Maybe you didn't even need to discount the product. Maybe it's just too much for that, but they'll pay more for this, right? And it prevents the prospect from lowballing you, just throwing out some crazy number that you know you can't do anyway, right? So I'm going to give you 3 action ideas, 3 things that you can do to immediately dial this thing in. Start working with it. Start using it in your own sales process and your own sales cycles. Okay, number 1, determine what would be the most common offer that you propose to a client. What is it that you're throwing out there all the time? 2, once you have that, then determine what additional packages or options that you could propose to almost any client. So have a higher priced option or package, have a lower priced option or package, and then maybe some alternative selection. Maybe, let's say you're selling computers. So you've got like the basic iMac. Then you throw out the 27-inch iMac, right? And then you're going to offer the refurbished one. Same thing with phones, right? So, and then the third thing you want to do, let's do that with real estate. Somebody comes in on this house, we're going to show them a house that's maybe what they're interested in is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Let's just show them a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, a little bit more money, but they get all these added features and it's got a bigger backyard. It's going to help them make sense of the one in the middle. Then we'll offer them something a little bit less. And then maybe just throw in something completely out of the ordinary that could be either more or less or similar, but not exactly what they wanted. And then the third thing you want to do, hopefully those examples made sense. Third thing you want to do is that when you make a proposal to a customer of what they have interest in, what should you do when they ask for a discount? Kind of a pop quiz here at the end. Keep in mind, tip number 2, start negotiating with the inventory that you have presented already. Hey, well, what can you do for me on this widget? Well, we're pretty firm on this widget right here, but would you be open to, because if this is a little bit more than you wanted to spend, then let's take a look at this one over here, because this one is way more than you wanted to spend. If you're going to spend more, then let's just go big. No, this is really what I want. What can you do for me on this? Well, if we're looking to save some money, would you consider widget X? Now, you're going to lose these features, but that will save you some money. No, this is what I want. Excellent. Sign here. Done. Okay? We've moved them through inventory before we've started having a conversation about discounts. And I want you to script out. So here's the other action idea. So the first one was what? Determine your most common product. Then come up with 2 at the very least, 1 more, 1 less, if not 3 alternative selections. And then the third thing would be to script out how you would pitch those options. Okay? So let's wrap this up. When you start selling and closing, this goes in both places. Remember when we talked about the sales process, we said there's a difference between selling and closing. So you're going to offer this, you're going to have this up in the selling process, part of the selection demonstration, then we move into the close, we're going to do it again. This is part of selling and closing, but those are 2 separate things. So when you start selling and closing with these things in mind, that choices support decision making, and that you want to negotiate with inventory before money, you will guaranteed start increasing your profit margin and your sales volume. You're also going to reduce the buyer's need to shop. They don't need to look around. They already looked at 4 or 5 things with you. And you're going to help them make the right decision, which is ultimately doing business with who? You and your company. And this has been another episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. For more help dialing this in, for more help with alternative selections and choices supporting decision making and how to negotiate with inventory before you start negotiating money, check out our coaching program. We've got a complete section. We actually have 4 weeks worth of training in this area alone. Okay, head on over to cardonesolutions.com/coaching. That's cardonesolutions.com/coaching. cardonesolutions.com/coaching. Throw a tweet out at me at David R. Bradley. Let me know what you got from this particular episode. I'm going to leave you with the words of Grant Cardone. You know what they are. Be great. Nothing else pays. We'll see you soon.